Okay, on this video ngizokwenza i-industrial electronics unit 1. Ukhuluma ngama-laws ka-Kirchhoffs. U-Kirchhoffs unama-laws awu-2 esizokhuluma ngawo ku-unit 1. Eyokuqala eye-current, eyesibili eye-voltage. Since ku-unit 1 sikhuluma nge-direct current, lama laws asisiza kakhulu ekucalculating i-current. Nakho akuthola. Wathola ukuthi uma kune-junction, i-current that is flowing to the junction is equal to the current that is flowing away the junction. Lokhu kusho ukuthi if i-current eflowa kwi-junction kungu-I1, then eflowa away the junction ku-I2, then I1 is equal to I2. Say we add another current that is flowing away this junction and call it I3. Then this would change the equation to I1 equal to I2 plus I3. Let's say we decide to add another current to this junction and call it I4. This would change this equation and leave us with equation that says I1 plus I4 is equal to I2 plus I3. Say we add another current flowing away the junction. What happened on the previous equations will also happen to this one too. Now we will be having I1 plus I4 equal to I2 plus I3, and this current that we added, let's name it I5 plus I5. So lokhu akuzukwenzeka kwi-scenario enjengalena ke uma sesingena deep kwi-law ye-current ka-Kirchhoffs. Naye wayengakwenza ukuthi kusisize ey'ntweni ezinjengalezi, wayenza wathola lokhu wabhala phansi ukuze kusisize kuma-circuit. Let's say sine-circuit naye, asiyenze so. Ngethemba ukuthi you still remember the difference between the series circuit and the parallel circuit. This loop is parallel, but this parallel loop is in series with this loop. So yini siyaziyo nge-series circuit ukuthi if sithi sine current that is flowing here and we call it I1 flows here and here, the current is the same, and when we are here, according to Kirchhoffs, the current in the junction will split. So if sithi u-I1 lo ohamba laphaya, bese sithi u-I2 lo, u-I3 lo, lokhu kusho ukuthi I1 is equal ngoka-Kirchhoffs, a current flowing toward each junction iyalingana ne-current that is leaving the junction. So I1 is flowing toward kwi-junction. I2 and I3 away. So I2 plus I3 gives us this current. So let's say we want I2, we were gonna manipulate, and we were gonna take this current this side, which would be I1 minus I3. Say we want I3, we're gonna take I2 this side. I2 was gonna change the sign, I1 minus I2. So what this guy found out is helpful. We can use it to calculate unknown currents in a circuit. Kungenzeka ukuthi uqaphelile ukuthi uma sikhuluma nge-law ka-Kirchhoff siye current, asizange siyifake i-voltage, asikhulumanga ngayo. It's because i-voltage ikhuluma ngayo kwi-second law yakhe. Yini ayithola kwi-second law yakhe concerning i-voltage? Wathola ukuthi in a closed loop, a closed loop, we will see, let us do a circuit. Uma ikhuluma nge-closed loop, wayikhuluma nge-circuit that is complete. So nice circuit yethu, it's a closed circuit. So lana sine total voltage, EMF, or supply voltage. Maybe it's 20, let's say it's 20 volts. Then lana u-R1 u-R2. Kwenzekani kwi-series circuit? Ngethemba ukuthi uyakhumbula ukuthi kune-volt drop across R1, volt drop across R2. So akuthola ukuthi in a closed loop, i-algebraic sum ye-EMF around is equal to a sum of these. So, or to the algebraic sum of these potential differences. Kahle kahle lokhu kusho ukuthi wabona ukuthi le voltage le esithi u20 iyalingana ne volt drop ozoyithola la nala uma uwahlanganisa. So VR1 plus VR2. So yilokho akuthola ukuthi i-total EMF is equal to i-sum of ama-volt drop asuke khona kwi-circuit. Like for example, if we made 3 resistors, and say this is R2, R1, R3. So let's say this one is 10, but we won't be doing calculations here. We are just explaining what this guy found. The total EMF yethu lana is equal to the volt drop across R1, volt drop across R2, volt drop across R3. So ngenxa yokuthi lana sizobe sikhuluma kakhulu ngama loops, kuzomele ukhohlwe kancane lokho obungasukucabange. If we were to make a parallel loop like this, parallel loop like this one, and connect it to a series, and connect it to a supply. Sithi lona R1, R2, R2, R3. Cishe into obungasuyicabange la uma usakhumbula lokho wakufunda kwi-metric ukuthi yeah, there is a volt drop here, VR1, and there is a volt drop, sorry, VR2, and there is a volt drop across VR3. then you would know that the volt drop across VR2 is the same as the volt drop across VR3 because this is a parallel circuit. So mhlawumbe ubungase uthi ukuze uthole i-current yala, you need to calculate total resistance using the formula R parallel. We won't use that Kirchhoff's law of current and voltage when we are dealing with a direct current. As you can see that my supplies here are a direct current. They are not AC. They are not AC. They are direct current. So laga N3 uzobe nje usebenzisa ama loops. So in a scenario like that, uKirchhoff's wathi yena uzofike akhethe i-loop, okusho ukuthi if sikhetha le i-loop akuthola ukuthi i-total EMF across VR1 i-total EMF is equal to i-volt drop across VR1 and i-volt drop across VR2. So ukhetha le loop ayishiye ngokungathi ayikho le. So that is why singafuna ukustressa nge-total resistance of the circuit. Uma ekhethe lena i-loop engezansi ayikhohle leya uthi okay, let me write this down. Uthi i-total EMF is equal to VR1 plus VR3. So yilokho akuthola. But sizobakhohlwa nalapha. They ngibafakile ukuze kube lula ukuthi ukhumbule ukuthi sidila ngama volt drop. We are not ama robots. Speak ukuthi incwadi isifundisana bese sithatha lokho. Singabi sakhumbula ukuthi why senza kanjalo. So you know why you are doing that, ama volt drop. So a volt drop here, to calculate it, we will depend on the current that we are given, which is I1, and the resistance that we are given. We know that since this is a series, we will have I1 multiplied by R1, I1 multiplied by R2. In a series circuit, what we know is the current is the same, but the voltage is not the same. So we would replace this by 20. So on this circuit, sizomala siyoqhubeka uma sesenza ama calculations. Lena u10 laphaya besizo okay lana for us to continue with the calculations ukuze sithole current inesizoyidinga ama resistance angithi. If we were to be given values, we were gonna substitute and get the current. Same thing applies here because we're gonna expand this. We say current esinayo la I1, then this would be I1 R1 plus I1 R2 plus I1 R3. So if we had the values, we were going to substitute, take out I1 as the common factor, whatever number that we're going to get when we're adding the resistance values, we were going to divide it here and get the current. So ungathini la mhlambi ungaphetha ngokuthi lana mhlambi ukuze siyenze ibe interesting, take out I1 as the common factor and R2. So for us to get I1, bekuyomele sithi 20 divided by R1 plus R2. And if you look at it, it agrees with what you learned concerning series circuits, N3, N2, N1, and also in geometric. Now on this one, we have I1, R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we would divide 10 by that, and I1 would be. So what this guy figured is helpful because it makes things easy for us, but uzobona as we tackle ama exercise ukuthi it won't always be like this, but in case it becomes so easy, you will know what to do because I've told you. So there, if we take that loop, siyazi ukuthi uma sithi u-I1 lo then kube u-I2 lo kube u-I3 lo. So yini siyaziyo ngo-I1 ukuthi if befika kule junction bayasplit, angithi uyasplit kube u-I2 no-I3, then u-I1 is I2 plus I3. That means u-I3 ubani, you take this I2 this side and the sign changes. I1 minus I2. So if standard, sizosubstitute I3 ngo-I1 minus I2, or sizosubstitute I2 ngo-I1 minus I3. This one is better because iyenza sibe nalama unknown now too. So that loop, the top loop, let's say 5 lower, 5, and this would be I1, R1 plus I2 and R2. So now here it's unlike the previous examples, ne? Says no I1 no I2, so asakwazi ukuthatha i-common factor noma ukukhipha i-common factor. Here this would be 5, I1 R1 plus sithe I3 I1 minus I2. So we will multiply this by R3. So this gives us 5 equal to I1 R1 plus I1 R3 minus I2 R3. So if we were given the values of these resistance, besizogcina mhlambi, let's say this was 2, this was 3, besizoba no 2I1 3I1 bese siyaba add sithole u5I1. So sinalokho ngenxa yokuthi we don't know the values of this resistance, but we will know certain values, or we will know all the resistances in the circuit when we're doing calculations. In the moment, just keep this in mind. What have we learned? We learned ukuthi uKirchhoff's current wathola ukuthi uma i-current iflow toward i-junction izolingana ne-current that is flowing away junction. Kanti kwi-voltage wathola ukuthi i-total voltage or i-supply voltage or i-EMF iyalingana nama-volt drop asuke ekhona kwi-circuit. Yilokho esiqeda kufunda ngakho. Kuzosisiza ukuze sicalculate kakhulu i-current on unit 1. Sizobonana uma sesenza ama-calculations.